I'm John Hinkle, the senior pastor of First Presbyterian Church. This is your Saturday morning preview of your Sunday morning sermon. We finish up our series of sermons we've been doing and looking at in the month of June, where we've been focusing on Jesus's words of saying, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And actually, we're going to look at those very words this Sunday from the Gospel of John. It's interesting when Jesus says those words to his disciples, I am the way, the truth, and the life. It is in the hour before his eventual betrayal, arrest, trial, and crucifixion. This is a very troublesome moment for all involved, for Jesus and the 12, and in these words, I say this in my sermon, the title above the text, which, the title's not biblical. No one said, Jesus didn't say, by the way, I'm giving comfort to my disciples. But that's what my Bible says. Jesus gives comfort to his disciples. These words, I am the way, the truth, and life, we're meant to do just that, to give comfort to these disciples. But in order to get there, we're going to kind of look a little bit at last week's sermon. Remember, that was the moment in John chapter 6 where Jesus says, I am the bread of life. Jesus connects himself to the divine, to the creator, to God in a very practical way, meaning that I am the bread of life and I thus give you life. And remember, Jesus had a lot of his followers look at each other and said, man, this is hard teaching. Who can follow? And they walked away. But the reality is Jesus may have lost his followers, but he found his disciples because 12 men remained. And Jesus looked at those 12 and said, what about you? Are you going to leave me too? And that's when Peter said, where else can we go? Who else can we follow? We believe you have the words of life. You're it. And interesting enough, I think we all, as our Jesus story unwinds, and remember what I said, our Jesus story is where our life and Jesus intertwine together. I believe we all have these moments of decision, like we see in John chapter 6. But I also believe that's not a one and done deal, meaning that that question, like somehow that question is just asked to us once, and we answer once. Either we say, yep, we'll follow, or nope, this is hard, and we walk away. I don't think that's true. I think that question is asked of us again and again and again. And sometimes we answer like those followers of Jesus, man, this is hard, who can do it? But other times we answer just like Peter. Where else can we go? Who else can we follow? You're it, Jesus. And I think it's when we answer in the affirmative, you're it, Jesus, that we recognize this very exclusive offer. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. A very exclusive offer. Meaning it's Christ alone that we find the way. It's Christ alone we find the truth. It's Christ alone we find our life. We experience a very inclusive grace. A grace that has been really offered to humanity from the very beginning, even before the beginning of creation itself. The great truth that we all face, I think we all face, is all of us are dealing with something. Sometimes our something are little things, other times they're big things. I say in my sermon, in my life, I feel like I'm always dealing with mess of my own creation, somebody else's mess. And even when I finish cleaning up all that mess, I don't take time to breathe. I don't take time to relax because I realize there's going to be more mess. Well, Jesus says, hey, listen, I've got this and I've got you. As a matter of fact, that's what Jesus says to his disciples. He says, don't let your heart be troubled. Don't. Why? Because I got this and I got you. That's why Jesus says, trust God. Trust me. So I look forward to being with you Sunday as we finish up our series of sermons exploring this understanding that Jesus is the way.